Greetings, terrestrials! The date is 12221. The Earth is in retrograde, and these are some strange times indeed. You're watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. I, of course, am your host, Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bizarre. Every week on this show, we take your calls to hear about the strange and unexplained occurrences going on in the world, be it ghosts, extraterrestrials, cryptids, interdimensional beings. You can't explain it. We want to hear about it. Every week, right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, we take your calls to explore just that. And in the meantime, we explore the strange and unexplained. Everything out there, everything beyond our imagination, everything that we just can't quite get a grasp on. Are there ancient beings in our seas? Is the Earth in retrograde truly? Are there Mothmen at O'Hare International Airport? Did Paul McCartney die in a car crash? Are the clues in the new Beatle documentary put out by Peter Jackson? Well, it's long enough. There's got to be at least two by the odds of average. Got to be at least two clues in there by the odds of average. I have not watched it yet. 8 hours long, and I'm sure that good Peter Jackson cut out the little riff between John and Paul, where he's like, "Oh well, Paul." That's actually more George Harrison, but George Harrison's probably like, "Oh gee, Paul, remember when you died in that car accident?" And half Australian too. "Oh, come on, guys. I've been here the whole time. I didn't die in no car accident. No, I'm just Paul McCartney of the Beatles. Been me the whole time." It's got to be in there. Well, I'm sure they cut that part out specifically, but there are clues. Songwriters are always leaving clues in their music. We talked about it all last week. But here we are on 12221. And it is a strange time indeed. Let's get into our top stories. Our top stories here on the show. And there is a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And let's tackle these things chronologically, if you will. Because we've been off the air. We've been off the air since before Thanksgiving. Our last show was November 18th. A lot has been going on a logistical and government scale. And a lot is going on the other side of our studio. Our intern, of course, Spangler. Let's get a look at this. Trying to pick out a book. Are you picking out a book, little fella? All right, well. Really a sight to see. For our sweet little bean, our good Spangler here, our intern on the show. A chupacabra attack survivor. Look at him over here. Look at him. Speaking to the microphone, buddy. Say that famous catchphrase that everyone knows you for. All right, well. More Spangler tonight, perhaps, depending on how antsy he gets during the course of the program. He's already eyeing the door, so I can tell he might be a little noisy tonight. We'll see. Of course, we've got some fans in the show. In the chat. Do we have people in the chat? I can't see the chat. I can only see a leaderboard. Did they change the app? Oh, no. Steven, are people...
That's curious. I wonder why they would have changed it at this time, because they're clearly interfering with your ability to read this chat. We've got a lot of comments about the 12221, which you didn't really elaborate on. You said it, but I said 12221.
Okay, here we go. Now I think I've got
the chat. Got it. All right. You see Barefootin's making comments. Barefootin 52.
It's 12221. Now a lot of people say, what does that mean? Well, it's December 12th, 2022. When you abbreviate it on a piece of paper, it's 12221. 1222. 12221. 12221. And I think that's just an exciting date. What does it mean? Well, I'm not skilled in numerology as some purveyors of the supernatural are, but if there are any numerology experts in the chat, please feel free to chime in and let us know the significance of 12221. Of course, I'm still not getting a chat, so I'm going to pull this up in a separate window just so I can see it.
Well, the big
I
thing
must
that
hear the
I think
people.
that you missed is Barefoot and 52 said that it's a date that's the same forwards, backwards, and upside down.
Wow. Okay. There we go. All right. I have access to a window with the chat in it, so I can check that periodically. We are back in business. We are communicating. We're communicating to the people. We're getting ready to get into our top stories just as Spengler is getting ready to take over the record player. Observe, if you will. A cat on the edge. What bizarre things could there be if not a cat on the edge? What are you gonna do, little guy? Yes, you clean out one good leg. Now, that's what we were saying before I realized we didn't have the chat. Sweet, sweet Spengler here, survivor of a chupacabra attack, and thusly only has 3 legs. Oh my gosh. We're getting a real messy shot of the studio tonight, Stephen, I think. But we just have to show off Spengler. It's been a few weeks since we've had him in studio with us. All right, there we go. There we go. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into these top stories, folks. This one coming right out of the United States Senate. This happened on November 20th, and this readout is coming from singularfortean.com. Tobias and Emily Wayland there writing for them. They are writing here about Senator Christian Gillibrand. You may remember Senator Christian Gillibrand from the 2020 elections. My gosh, it's incredible to think about the way that time functions. I will say this right now. If you ask me how long Joe Biden has been in office, without looking at a calendar, I'd probably say 2 years. That's what it feels like for sure. And here we are, not to be like, whoa. Not to be in like, I don't mean that in a political way. I mean that in the way that time has progressed, the way that time is moving right now. It feels like it's been 2 years since all of this began. And it feels like the election was a whole separate thing from the pandemic. Like Senator Christian Gillibrand, who was a key centrist in the 2020 election. She is acting as a part of the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, has proposed an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that would create a more expansive military and intelligence program to study UFOs, citing an urgent need to determine whether or not unexplained sightings by military personnel pose a national security threat. If it is technology possessed by adversaries or any other entity, we need to know, Senator Gillibrand said in her interview with Politico last Wednesday. Burying our heads in the sand is neither a strategy nor an acceptable approach. The program, named the Anomaly Surveillance and Resolution Office, has bipartisan support and would either replace or absorb the existing United Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force. There it is. Senator Christian Gillibrand, and this has been gaining bipartisan momentum. What we have here is a setting, an Anomaly Surveillance and Resolution Office that is going to be looking into UFO sightings, not just that are contained over military bases. Oh, Stephen, you're putting the chat in my own feed. That I love you for doing that, because it's still not fully loading on. Perhaps you can hear a secret message coming from the record player. Ooh, yes, that's true. That's true. Thank you, Big Sackme. You know how those musicians are hiding their music and the things. And of course, cats and animals, as they tend to be, not only have the capability to see a wider spectrum of light and phenomenon than us, but many often hear it as well. And perhaps there are messages just keyed into animals on the records, on Wendy Carlos's Switched on Bach, who's to say? But there we are, the UFO, the Anomaly Surveillance and Resolution Office. Now, in response to this, it seems, the Department of Defense, outside of what the Senate has proposed, is setting up their own UFO office. This, the Pentagon has announced, and this was coming in on, let me check the date here. November 24th, just a few days later, the Pentagon has a new office that is dedicated to investigating and tracking UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomenon as they are known. It is called the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group, or AOMSG, or AOIMSG, which there you go. That is what they are proposing. And this is going to specifically look at UFO sightings that are just over military bases. So any sightings of unidentified aerial phenomenon who show up over these spaces, over military air zones, are going to be logged and recorded. But we're not taking into account any civilian sightings, any sightings outside of this area. And this has been met with harsh criticism from Lou Elizondo, who has been really a real person at the forefront. If you have been following the UFO disclosure that has been going on over the past year, and he has been saying, this is, if you want to maintain UFO secrecy, this is exactly how you do it. He calls this a direct and blatant attempt to circumvent and undermine the Senate, who would be allocating specific funds and requiring unclassified disclosures of information to them on a regular basis regarding these unidentified craft in the sky. But the Department of Defense is saying, well, we just made something that already is going to do that, but just on military basis, and it's our own thing, so we can follow our own rules. And he's kind of right there. He's kind of right there. Now, there have been calls. I think there has been a rallying cry from some MUFON fans, some fans of the Mutual UFO Network, a series of civilian investigators all across the country. And MUFON has been saying, we've got the largest database of civilian sightings that have been looked into and researched by our people. Like, you're gonna put the military on this, you've got to put this on here too. Like, we've got to team up. We've got the biggest database. If we're just restricting things to the information that we're getting from the military, then that's going to shade everything in a darker color. It's all threat assessment, and the presumption right away is threats. If you look at one of the write-ups about this Pentagon office on defense1.com, it's categorized not under unidentified craft. It's categorized as threats, and that's the absolute problem, is that the things that we can't explain, the things that are unknowable to us, are immediately seen as a threat. But we don't know what it is. Well, it must be dangerous. I think there's a way you can look at these things from a perspective of cautious optimism, where these unknowns, these entities, these crafts, these interdimensional beings, whatever they may be, you got to approach it with a certain amount of cautious optimism, because if you go in assuming the threat, then you're going in ready to fight. And they might be, and I like to think they're coming to us. They're not coming. They have no reason to come to us. What do we have that they're going to fight us over? Like, I don't know, a secret element in the Earth's core. I just don't quite buy it. So it's we've got to be ready to come at them with peace, because if they wanted to destroy us, they would have done it by now. So there it is.
You know what?
Yes.
If they're smart enough to reach here.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us. Hey, let's see what all these people are about. They might also be smart enough to realize how much we'd only get along, but then also realize how entertained we get at arguing with each other. And then they might just be like, all right, well, they don't have their stuff together. They like to fight. And you know what? We're really not going to have a part of this. But, if they're entertained by it, we'll just feed into it and let them entertain themselves and just progress the destruction even quicker.
Oh, That's dark. See, I do believe. Here's the thing. I feel like you're at least halfway right there.
I mean, I don't want the darkness, but like,
Right.
is
Like
that?
I think I like to think, because I mean these are sorry, the music is too loud in the room for me. I'm shouting over it, and I'm shouting over it into a computer that's 1 foot away from me. But no, I think you're absolutely right there, Stephen. To look at this is a highly advanced species. If it can travel light years to get here, whatever it is, like the closest planet to us is very far away, and we do not have the technology to get there in a quick manner, you know. And when I say the closest planet to us, I mean the closest presumed habitual planet
in a different solar system. Yeah.
Mars we can reach, you know.
Barefootin's got a comment on this too.
The moon we can reach, but you've got to be able to kind of achieve, I think, to get to space flight of this capacity. You've got to advance pretty far as a civilization, and I like to think that advancing pretty far as a civilization to get to this point where you are reaching people on whole other planets, where you are taking effect on whole other worlds, you've got to be at a place on your own planet where you have kind of a sustained peace. You have a unity. You have people working together around the world. Perhaps because you recognize that it's the best thing to do for the planet you're all living on. And so these extraterrestrials, I like to think they've achieved this kind of level of semblance before they're coming out here. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wildly wrong. Sure.
Maybe they were just the rich ones, the winners of the other planet that got it, that escaped.
And I could be wildly wrong, but I think here's where I think I'm not, is tends to be, if you're a global superpower and you have the ability to wipe out other people on the planet, you're not the only one. And generally, sad to say, it tends to come down to a doomsday scenario where we're all holding the nukes and who's going to blow it up, you know.
And if they didn't blow it up, then there must have been peace.
In theory, exactly. They would destroy themselves before they could fully leave. You might get a few rich folks who are going out there, but they're not really going out for exploration at that point. And so, yeah, I think if we're going out there, we've got to kind of work on that a little bit too, because there's a lot to work on. So we'll just say that's for sure.
Plenty of homework.
Plenty of homework and plenty of people we need to help out here, but also, you know, we want to put on our best faces for these other people. Is this the world that we want to show them? The Elon Musks of the planet. Yes, the folks who are just going out for like funsies. They're just going out on little joyrides right now. Like they don't have like a real reason to. They're just kind of like flexing their wealth, which is unfortunate. Now, that said, we'll get into this a little bit later, but there's one billionaire who I trust, and it's Robert Bigelow, the owner of Bigelow Aerospace, who has self-funded technology that has then been used by NASA. He paid for it all with his own money because he was like, I like space and I think there's extraterrestrials out there, and so we need to be funding this kind of exploration. And he's a billionaire who put his money behind that in a way that has not really been showboaty, but incredibly weird. And we'll get into him a little bit more later. But there you go. That's a first of the two top stories, and a little bit of political opinions on the program. I mean, I don't really think of peace as a political opinion. I think it's just something we should all strive to, regardless of your political party. But I think one party is certainly against it, and the other one tries. Here we go, bringing into the next story. Coming in from the UK, octopuses, squid, and lobsters and crabs could be officially listed as sentient beings by the Animal Welfare Sentience Bill, which defines basically, let's see, when it was first created, it included pretty much all vertebrates or animals with backbones, but no invertebrates. Now, as of this revision, it can now include cephalopod mollusks, which are octopuses, squids, and cuttlefish, decapod crustaceans, which are crabs, lobsters, shrimp, and crayfish. Even crayfish are now sentient beings. So think about that next time you're breaking into a crab or ripping off all its weird little legs to suck out all those good crab juices. You're eating a sentient being that is self-aware of itself and all the little things that it can do and the weird little ways that it walks. All right, okay. We got into that and we've got updates. There we go. Those are our top story updates coming in. What is the government thinking of UFOs? What is the Senate thinking of UFOs? What is the Pentagon thinking of UFOs? What does the UK consider a sentient species? And now here we are. The final little bit, here we go. One last update for 12221. Here we go. We've given updates on my gender before on the show. We were talking about feeling gender fluid or being gender fluid, not feeling, being. We talked about that back in August. Here we are a couple months later, and I just wanted to give everybody an update because I've been reflecting on it. Well, you know, when you go on a journey like this and you're gender fluid, so your gender is changing by the minute every time, and you're whatever. I've really been feeling so much lately, like far more like a she they it than a he they it. And I think it comes down to this. I feel like a gal, not a girl. That's how I've been feeling. And I just wanted to put that out there. Like it's a weird, it feels like an interesting specification to make, but that's the mustache there. That's the mustache there. You didn't have to tell me octopi are sentient after watching one fight. Yeah, well, yeah, octopi are not a surprise there. Thank you for that, Stephen, coming in on the chat. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give everyone an update there. A gal, not a girl. I've been feeling, but also I think I exist on a gender spectrum between swamp creature and space gal. I kind of fluctuate on that spectrum there. So I just wanted to put that out there for those of you who are keeping track at home. If you want to ask me invasive questions like, are you getting the surgeries and all that stuff, you can back our Patreon at patreon.com/strangetimesindeed. To ask me such invasive questions as that, you got to back at the $25 a month level. You got to back at the highest level, and then I'll let you ask me those questions. Otherwise, no. But you can ask me other questions if they aren't invasive. Like, I'm totally cool with that. In fact, I'll even look and check. Because I do have it up in a window, but I'm not looking at it actively. Okay, nope, no new things in the chat. All right, there you go. That's 1221 news for you here. Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. Stephen, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I told the chat that I was going to do the telephone and copy and paste.
Oh,
and
awesome.
It's going to be like a digital telephone.
There'll be a little delay, sure.
Well, and yes, and you can't calculate the delay because of human error. I mean, I don't know how quickly I can press the buttons all at the same time. It wasn't built into the program, but I'm doing my best.
You've also got to watch the show and then copy and paste over. I'm going to remember to just do a real system update on the iPad later because it's not loading the chat for me at all, and it's a shame. I like to talk to people. That's why we open the phone lines on the show, to hear about their experiences with the strange and the unexplained.
Now Apple, so we were, Verizon? We were Verizon was trying to keep the communication waves down. Now it seems that Apple is keeping the communication waves down.
Apple, I mean, sure, but I'll take the blame for this one, Stephen, because I don't use the iPad as often anymore. So I don't update it as often as I should, you know?
Understood.
Exactly. It really gets, at this point, it mostly gets used so I can monitor the chat. And then
it's the chat monitor.
Computer. So that's the honest truth. I'll take the blame on that one. A lot of times people try to silence us, but I'll take the blame on that one. I'll say Apple is bad for other reasons.
I forgot. I have the chat built into the show because of our live show that happened in October. Of course, you usually see a horizontal view, so this would be horizontal for you right now. Or no, a flipped mirrored image. I could reflip it for you, Cliff, if that works.
I'd be happy to just have you post it in the little chat here on the side of the Zoom
And
call.
you know what? I think our viewers are happy with that. They love the telephone. It's been working out. So let's just get rid of this chat box. I'll keep copying and pasting.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much for helping out, Steven. Steven, of course, technical director here on the show, keeps everything running very nice and smoothly. And if you buy us at any level on patreon.com/strangetimesindeed, some of that money goes to Steven. So you help everyone on the show. If someone is working on the show, they are getting a cut of the Patreon. And then how much they get, well, that depends on you. Do you think the hard work that they do is worth a little change? Toss it over to patreon.com/strangetimeindeed with Cliff McAllister. It's the holiday season, folks, the season of giving. And, well, you won't really get like a special holiday gift for backing us, but you will get my special love and attention. You can chat with us on the Discord. We've got a special Strange Times Indeed Discord just for people that the more of Cliff's smiling face, the better. Yes, thank you, Big Sack. Thank you, Big Sack. Hey, it's smiling more and more each day, except when the sun goes down as early as it does. Oh boy. I think the producer is to blame for the chat. Yes. Yep. That's probably the producer's fault more so than anything else. You know, I have my own computer that I tick tack and I click clack on all day. And our producer is supposed to be responsible for the iPad, and they just don't do it. They just don't touch it. Oh, I will say I do still very much like the it pronoun, but I'm moving away from he. I'm moving away. We can jive with a they, but I mean that's also great. Like I said, I'm on a range from swamp creature to space gal. That's what anywhere in between there. I think that is the perfect place. I think this is a perfect place anywhere on that range. So there it is. I just kind of wanted to give that little update on the show. And so there, we're going to go ahead. Steven, let's go ahead and put the Zoom link in the chat if anybody wants to zoom in. And we're going to go to a quick break. If anyone wants to call in during that break, that makes bringing you on during the next half a little easy logistically, but it really doesn't matter either way. You can call in whenever if you've got something strange or unexplained to share with us. Otherwise, we'll be back. We'll be back with more Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. Steven, let's roll that, baby.
Do you mind if I read the stage directions?
For sure.
That's lovely. Behold, the sparkliest, happiest, Christmassiest kitchen ever dreamt up by the Hallmark Channel. Go on, picture it. Now double what you imagine. Now you've got it. This is either a dream or a nightmare, but either way, you should be smiling.
Wait, there's going to be two Santas?
There's going to be one Santa, Bill. He's kind of an asshole, but he looks like Santa.
Or,
You're Tiffany's boyfriend?
in as much as any soul can belong to another, I suppose. I'm her husband. Yeah, this is awkward. I am actually Santa.
I'm Santa. I was glad to be here, which makes me Santa.
You look like Gandalf, man.
Exactly.
Dear First Grade Journal, this weekend Room 1 is performing our very own holiday show at Newspire Arts. Come see me, Junie B, in Junie B. Jones' Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, performing every Saturday and Sunday from November 27th to December 12th at Newspire Arts. For tickets and showtimes, visit marylandensemble.org. Wowie wow wow! I'll see you there!
Greetings, terrestrials. The date is 12221. The Earth is in retrograde, and these are some strange times indeed. You, of course, are watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bizarre. Every week, we take your calls to hear about the strange and unexplained in the world. Ghosts, extraterrestrials, cryptids, you name it. We want to hear about it. You can't name it. We really want to hear about it. Every week on this show, we take your calls to hear about those things. We explore the unknown. We talk about it. We discuss it. We absorb the news. We take in the weird. We feel the effects of it, and we push it further into our body. Here, as Earth is in retrograde, because the only way to exist in retrograde is to lean into your weird. And here we are, right here on twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night, where we are every Thursday at 9 o'clock, taking calls and talking about the unexplained. We've got the chat room. I've got it figured out. Somebody suggested, Barefoot52, our good friend of the show, suggested, why don't you put it up on the phone? And I thought, wow, there we go. Another device that is not being utilized. So there it is. We've got it figured out. If you're watching, chime along in the chat. I can finally see it live and in a moment. Let's get a 1221 in there. Type a 1221 in the chat to prove that you are not a robot watching this show. And if you are a robot watching the show and you have gained full sentience, if you have gained artificial intelligence, Stephen, we'll go ahead and we'll put the Zoom line in there. We'll go ahead if you want to put the Zoom line in there. For any robots that have gained sentience, you can call into the Zoom and talk to us that way. I look very out of focus. Hold on one moment. All right, there we go. I think that fixed it. Nope, that made it worse. I moved away far too slow. We're going to do the show this close for the rest of the program, which means I really have to talk very softly to you when I tell you all about the other things that are going on at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. That's right. Here at the close Zoom, we are joining together. We are talking to one another, coming around a table, if you will, to discuss the happenings at the Maryland Ensemble Theater this very weekend. In fact, this very weekend, we've got all sorts of fun things going on. We've got an original Christmas show that, as of this moment, is opening this weekend. No Virginia, a grown-up holiday farce, an incredibly fun show. I've been privy as a star of the Met Comedy Night Network, as a star of the Met Comedy Night Network. I get to go to the rehearsals. I get to see what's going on behind the scenes, and this show is like, it's funny. It's TV funny on stage, and you don't get that very often with stage comedies. Not to be picky. You don't get a show that's this funny and this heartfelt on a stage a lot. It's hard to find. It's hard to find solid comedies. And this is one of them. It's a brand new original show, No Virginia, a grown-up holiday farce. Maybe buy tickets for next weekend. And that's all I'll say about that, but it's a great ride. It's a lot of fun. Steven, oh no. Hold on. Did that sound come through? Nope.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Here, hold on one moment.
Did someone flush the toilet?
No, hold on. It'll happen again, I promise. I'm sorry that I'm doing this.
Is the cat? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
All right, buddy. I know we're trying to communicate to the spirits.
We are just playing in the sound space tonight.
I am quite fond of this record, and I think it's hard to find, so if you could not, ruin it. It's the record we use on the show every week.
We are playing in the sound space tonight. Wow. Really going for it.
Music from an incredible trans woman who created the synthesizer.
Oh, really? Is that who's playing right now?
Yes, Wendy Carlos.
Wendy Carlos.
Yes. That's of course. She's not plugged in, but Stephen, if anyone would be so kind enough to point out, Wendy, our theremin, our sweet girl who will occasionally be featured on Strange Times Indeed, not tonight, but that's one of the benefits of being a fan of Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister is you get to hear a little theremin every now and then.
Nice.
And that's pretty nice. So that's Wendy, our magical singing plant. Not magical.
Hi, Wendy.
Mystical. Hey, I got my Spotify aura in. They said I was spooky and mystical, which I thought was rather apt. All right, hey, other things happening at the Maryland Ensemble Theater this weekend. Do you have kids? She did not invent the synthesizer. You're right. I'm getting it wrong, whatever it is, but a legend in her own right. But we're not gonna get into it. It's not Wendy Carlos biography night. I'm not prepared to talk about it off the cuff. There you go. Honesty on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister every Thursday at 9:00 right here on twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night. Nothing but unbridled honesty right here on the program. Steven! Wow, that worked really well with the music. Hey, my friend, you're in a show this weekend as well. A show for anyone who might have kids. And if you don't have kids, you can come too, but your kids will love it for sure. Steven,
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Junie B. Jones. It's Junie B. Jones, isn't it?
Junie B. Jones, Jingle Bells, Batman Smells. Look at how boyish I look without my mustache.
That's right. Fans, friends of the show, you're watching week after week. No one has commented on this clean face.
Where did it go?
Playing on there. It's so smooth.
Because, I play a character, and I was thinking, what would be appropriate for this character who's in the first grade? And I thought, you know what? I don't think that he would choose to wear a mustache to school.
You don't think he would?
No, I don't think he would.
He would not make that. That's his character choice not to wear.
Well, I had to spin that as my character choice because the director probably thought that he couldn't grow a mustache yet.
Oh, well, that seems odd.
Yeah.
I had this at 3 years old.
Really? So I should have
It's
brought
been
that
about
research
the
with me.
entire time.
Wild.
Did I say I was 3 years old? I'm sorry. I meant I was born with it.
That must have
Came out of the
wild.
womb, screaming and crying with this exact mustache. Not really a full.
But you were
bushy
bald.
Mustache, not really a full bushy mustache, but just this amount.
Were you bald?
Just this amount that sometimes catches people by surprise. They don't even realize it. And yes, no hair otherwise. I like
That's
Neo,
wild.
like Neo in the coming out of the cocoon.
Wow, absolutely wild. So yeah, I play Jose, and Jose is one of the students in the Junie B's class, and I have some Spanish lines as well in the show. And there's another character who's Lucille, and her parents have a lot of money. She's always talking about her nice dresses and how she goes to the pool and stuff. And then there's Sheldon, who's Jewish, and
Yeah,
and
our producer Kevin was Sheldon at one point.
oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
I remember I saw that show, that rendition before. And then there's May, who's a pretty important character in the class, not getting along with Junie B very much. And then Junie B's
First grade can be hard. First
Yeah.
grade can be hard, There's a lot of personalities in a first grade classroom.
there are, but at least Junie B has got her best friend Herbert, who she calls Herb.
Oh, well, that's nice.
They sit at the same table together. And then we can't be a classroom without a teacher. The teacher, Mr. Scary.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so Mr. Scary, make sure that we're gonna go to the gift shop and get our Secret Santa toys for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big fun moment.
Cool. Wow. Well, I bet a bunch of other stuff probably happens in that show too.
Oh, tons. It's an hour and 15 minutes, and I only talked about it for like 30 seconds ish. So there's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, Steven, and what a fun show it is. I've been privy to that one as well, and it's just, and that Junie B, that actress is such a gem there on stage. She's got such a feisty little attitude. Very fun to watch.
Really, really, really high energy, super engaging, and you're just all about it. And you definitely feel like this character is just giving all the honesty.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah,
if
nothing
she's
but
thinking
honest the whole
something,
show.
she's saying it.
She's thinking so much. Sometimes she exists outside of space and time and talks to the audience directly. Now that is an honest character.
That's
There's
an honest
no character who's ever talked to the audience and lied to them. An unreliable narrator, not a thing.
I want to make it a thing now because that's a good observation. What kind of an awful show can I make with that thought?
Yes, I wonder what you could do, Stephen, by inventing the unreliable narrator.
Just lie to you.
The first person ever to be an unreliable narrator, Stephen.
They say, Junie B, she's a mother of 6.
Oh yeah, and then we cut to her in the classroom, and people are like, "Wait a minute, what's going on here? Why, this narrator seems unreliable to me."
Burn him.
Yes. For the sin of lying.
And then I would say, don't worry, everybody. I'm going to get burned in Act 2, and then it won't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Steven, do you have any other shows coming up on the Met Comedy Night Network?
Sure, Kevin. Hold on. Let's go over here real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh,
right.
Steven, hey.
So,
right here you have a show coming up this Sunday. What's that other show coming up on the Met Comedy Night Network?
Well, it's another show where I do a lot of tech work, and there's something else. A main performer who happens to be my brother, AJ Craig, is gonna play some D&D by himself.
Oh.
It's called The Lonely Campaign. But wait, there's an opening theme that's pretty cool, and this show's so big that we've got to like move our heads to the side.
I just want to play D&D, but nobody wants to play with me. I got
this
all
feels
my toys,
very
my
Monty
pencils and
Python-esque.
machines, and I just want to play.
Perhaps
Yes.
it's the British accent.
Maybe so.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is some good music, though. These are some good tunes.
Yeah. So
Okay, wow, all right.
this gets you hyped up for the action, and essentially you can make comments and make suggestions, and my brother has to kind of play multiple characters and keep the story going. So it's interactive. What I say is he didn't have enough friends that he could play D&D with, so this is how he's doing it now.
All right, well, you can look for that. What time is that? That's happening this Sunday?
This Sunday. Do I know what time it is? Oh,
It's
Lonely
currently
Campaign.
9:46.
9:46 right now. It might be an 8 o'clock show.
Follow us on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight, and make sure you have those notifications turned on. So whenever we do go live on Sunday, you can catch The Lonely Campaign with Stephen Craig and his brother, AJ Craig, right here on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight. Hey,
you, Kevin.
wow, how nice to have Stephen Craig on the show there. Stephen, thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on and doing that little interview segment.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hey, of course. Always nice to have a guest on the show. Well, hey, here's a little public service note coming up. This week, this Sunday, December 5th, this Sunday. Oh my gosh, we're December 12th already. December 5th, this Sunday, happening At Dragon Distillery, our good friend Sarah Cooper of the American Snallygaster Museum is back, baby! Back with a Krampusnacht Day, celebrating the coming of Krampus, the terrifying German Santa Beast. And it's Krampus Day. It's coming, and Krampus is going to be there. Krampus will be there, and they will have photos with Krampus to support the Frederick Center. So be sure to head over to Dragon Distillery between 12 and 6 on Sunday for the Krampus Day thing. Oh, Stephen, we've even got a picture. This is from the American Snallygaster's Instagram. There we go. These prints are going to be available. These are, they do not sell these prints online, I believe. You got to get these. Head over to the event. This great South Mountain Snallygaster print. I'm going to be there for a little bit, probably earlier in the day. So if you wanted to swing by and say hello to Cliff McAllister, Zara the Bizarre, I'll just be visiting, wandering around. I'm not working a booth. So I won't be there all day, but you might see me if you want to meet up. Swing on down. And Steven, you've even been to some of the Snallygaster events. They're a lot of fun. There's going to be other vendors there. Gleason Woodworks, one that I remember, they make some great wooden boxes. If you
Those
are
are really cool.
If you are somebody who knows me, Cliff McAllister, or our producer, and you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if there's a good gift idea I could get. Those boxes that Gleason Woodworks makes, there's probably something good there. If you're looking for gift ideas.
What do you get for someone who has everything? Maybe a box to hold everything in.
There you go. Yes, absolutely. I've seen the artwork that our producer does, and I go, and then I see these boxes and I think, oh, this is like a similar vibe if it were not made out of cardboard.
The aesthetic of appreciating woodwork.
Yes. Oh, it's.
But your aesthetic is painting the woodwork.
Yes.
Instead of carving the wood.
No, there's absolutely carving involved.
Well, carving of cardboard, right? But you don't carve wood.
Yes. There's a lot of painstaking carving that almost is blister forming. I saw we lost a viewer, and I think it's because people started realizing, as I'm realizing, that this is going to be the second half of the show is just going to be plugs tonight, I guess.
Oh yeah, do this, do that.
I know. I've as we've covered all the things that I logistically wanted to talk about, I've realized we don't quite have time to talk about Robert Bigelow tonight, and I think that's okay. But hey, here's another holiday shopping alert. If you are a fashionable gal about town and you're in Target, you find yourself thinking, I wish I had something nice to drink. I wish I had a cool glass of water. Well, here you go. Yeti or not, it's Christmas time. Look at this. And it's got a cute little Yeti on top with a cute little hat. I tell you, if you want an abominable snowman drink accessory, you can't go wrong with the catchy catchphrase of Yeti or not, it's Christmas time in a cup as cute as this. That's a Cliff McAllister endorsed product. I endorse this product from Target. My name is Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bizarre. Every week I explore the strange and the unexplained, and very rarely I will endorse a product. But this is one I've got to endorse. How can you deny yourself something as nice as this little Yeti just staring back at you all day, reminding you to hydrate, and that Yeti or not, it's Christmas time. Which we should really update on this, because friends of the show, it's not just Christmas time, it's Prometheus time. Every year, every Christmas, here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, we gather around the hearth, we pop open the DVD player, and we put in that Ridley Scott film, House of Gucci. Just kidding, Prometheus. We watch Prometheus, a Christmas film about a star child born up in the skies that might have formed and created all human life, and also the horrible, awful creatures that are the ultimate weapon, and the fact that robots are evil, all happening on Christmas Day. we get together and we watch it together. We push play at the same time, and we all watch Prometheus, a celebration of Prometheusmas. We'll figure out exactly what day we're celebrating Prometheusmas on this year. I'll keep you all posted, because here's the deal. Matrix Resurrections comes out on Christmas Day, and you know I'm watching it that night. I gotta celebrate the holiday somehow. The Neo only comes back once every blue moon. We love movies. What can we say? We do watch-alongs on the show from time to time. You can follow us on I mean, now that I have the technology, we're just going to keep doing watch-alongs on here if we want to do them randomly. We used to do them as an Instagram exclusive thing, and then you'd have your phone next to your computer. But now we can just do it all on the computer. People can sync their feeds and just listen. So, wow, the advances of technology we have done since the beginning of this program are staggering. And it's only going to get better, baby. It's only going to get better from here. So make sure you support us. Patreon.com/strangetimesindeed with Cliff McAllister. Woo! All right. Well, I believe that's it for the program tonight. Thank you so much for everybody who chimed in the chat, everyone who is tuning along at home. Thank you so much for Spangler offering up the remix today. Steven, of course, all the hard work you do as our technical director here on the show. Hey, thank you so much. Can you believe it? The first time I've ever done that to him, and he's been popping up in the corner this whole time. Steven, you're doing great. You're doing so good. You're doing so good. Oh, what a great job you've been doing. I'm so glad you're back on the show so we can take calls. People don't always call, but oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that when you're here, we get to take them just in case. And I don't have to worry about pushing all the buttons. Whoa, oh my goodness. Okay, all right. I don't know what happened there. That turned into something else. But there's no shame at all. No shame at all. Hey, if that happens, it happens to everybody, and that's all right. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. This has been Strange Times to Do with Cliff McAllister. I'm Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bizarre. Until next week, stay strange, terrestrials.